In Grand Marais, filmmakers honor the frigid tundra and boreal forests of the North through cinema. The North House Folk School will soon host a screening of Arctic-themed films during its annual Winterers Gathering. Here's a sample from People of a Feather. Well, it looks like there'll be some powerful films and lots of eye candy at this year's Arctic Film Festival. The event is hosted by the North House Folk School in Grand Marais, and Executive Director Greg Wright is here to fill us in and give us a little perspective. Welcome.
Thank you, Karen. It's really great to be here.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about People of a Feather. That was the clip that we just saw. It's a powerful film.
It's a powerful and really beautiful film, you know, and it won because it's set in such a fantastic and inspiring place, the North. Beautiful, stark, challenging, and also it's, you know, people are there making their way, kind of being challenged by their environment and in a changing environment, and that's what, you know, is beautiful, I think, about the story is their ability to evolve and to meet the challenges of the day.
Okay, so not to give it all away, but we only got to see a little bit of that trailer, and what they're facing is a changing environment with the animals that they rely on to live.
Correct, you know, and if you think about Arctic people, how many resources are there up on the edge of the pack ice? Not much. And somehow they found a way to extract from that landscape, and in a respectful way, in a sustainable way, a life. So you change one variable. You know, what happens when the polar bear disappears from the north? We don't know. But if your life depended on the answer to that question, now you got a project you're going to have to figure out how to engage, and their resourcefulness as a people are really amazing.
It's inspiring just to see the hardiness. And in some of the other films, you know, if it's not snow and cold, it doesn't qualify for an Arctic film. Or how do you pick these films?
Well, you know, Arctic films, yeah. If we're not shivering, then it's not an Arctic film. Well, actually, not true. And if you look at the roundup of films for this year, there's 14 different films: Smoking Fish, Cold, The Last Dogs of Winter. I mean, all these inspiring titles. You see that film is, you know, is as varied as any other art form, and that's one of the joys of it. And that it can transport us around the globe is one of the things we exhilarate, because of course much of the Winterers Gathering actually happens in the classroom, where you're engaged in the task of shaping snowshoes or making moosehide mucklucks, or developing your skills working on winter medicinals, and so then suddenly to jump into a film and to fly across the globe to Siberia, to a traditional village in Siberia. I mean, it's beautiful. The Film Festival Winterers Gathering mated together have really created a neat event for North House Folk School.
Okay, so tell us, the Arctic Film Festival is just part of something called the Winterers Gathering, and
yeah.
that is where all these seriously hardy people learn the skills they need to cope, right?
Well, you don't have to like to be frostbit to come to the event. Actually, it's for all of us to enjoy, and it's an event that really celebrates winter, which is, you know, a fantastic season in the North. And it's for people who are curious about working with their hands and curious about community and curious about lifelong learning. There's a number of different courses that you can take, 3 days, half a day. There's seminars, mini seminar speakers that you can come see. There's films that you can come see. And there's also things like a community contra dance we call the Snowshoe Shuffle, or the Great Gear and Ski Swap, because every community's got extra pairs of skis that need to find a new home, to featured speakers. Seth Kantner, a really well-known Alaskan artist, is coming, or a writer, is coming down to speak and also teach a couple workshops, one on writing and one on photography for us.
What I think is cool is you actually get to sit down and talk to the instructor. At North House, it's one of those environments where you can have a conversation and some independent learning that way.
Yeah, one of the hallmarks of the folk school tradition is the idea that people engage in the intimate exchange of knowledge through the spoken word. You know, we start to exchange not just knowledge, but a passion for life. And so, you know, imagine Wild Bill's Run, you know, and sitting down and talking with the producer. Incredible. That's one of the things that happens at North House Folk School, and that's what the Arctic Film Festival is about. That's what the Winners Gathering is about. That's what North House is about year-round. This is one of multiple special events we host in a typical year. One of, you know, we host hundreds of classes in a typical year at North House.
And it's a fun way to if you need an excuse to go north, this is like, okay, here's your ticket, you know, head north, learn something, travel the world through film.
Absolutely, yeah, and the films are layered over 2.5 days of the 4 days of workshops that happen during the event, and as well as speakers also layered over that same period of time, so people can come and, you know, whether they just want to go to the coffee shop and see films, or they want to be part of hands-on coursework and also participate in some of the other offerings. A lot of ways to be involved.
Guaranteed they won't be bored. So.
I can promise you that.
So thank you very much for coming down and filling us in. I appreciate knowing more about the Arctic Film Festival. It's very cool.
A pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Just a reminder, the Arctic Film Festival and Winterers Gathering happens Thursday through Sunday, starting November 15th. And there's more information online at northhouse.org.